Hello. I forgot to do the 30-second thing. It's okay. So this is take
Yeah,
two.
it's all
Huh?
right. I said it's all right.
Unblur the lines, take two. Um yeah, so
What is up?
what's up? So yeah,
So
like
let's try this
well,
again.
we are gonna try this again because it seems like every time we try, something messes up, and then we try it again. And then before you know it, we'll be going to November. We'll go to November 20th as our first episode being posted on our podcast. We'll just keep pushing it back, man. Like, well, what else are you supposed to
No,
do?
we'll get it. We'll get it done. We'll get it done.
It doesn't help. So this is take two for all the listeners listening. This is take two because, for one, I don't know how to know what internet I'm on. um, for two, we are we had so we, this podcast is gonna start out a lot easier, mainly for the simple fact that we have all the equipment already, but now we're changing up the software. So now we're learning the new software, and I ain't gonna lie, it's been kind of a headache. It's a convenient software, and I like it, but it's been kind of a headache here lately.
Yeah, the doing the online where we live what an hour 45 minutes away from one another doing the remote thing. It's kind of something we need, to be able to do this, but it has definitely not been easy getting it figured out. It's easy to use, but for some reason our Wi-Fi and internet, the ISP, it just is not lining up like it should.
Yeah, for
So
sure. And another thing is, um, so like you said that we live an hour so much apart. So I just like when Holcomb Happy Hour was still a podcast and we were still going at it strong. Me and you both lived in Bardstown. Now I still live in
mhm.
Bardstown, and you left like a loser. And so now it's just good old me up here in Bardstown. So
So lonely.
so that's pretty much the only update on us. We have pretty boring lives when it comes to all that.
Yep.
Um, One thing I want to make sure that we say today is Happy Veterans Day. Um, we do support our troops. We support anybody and everybody who has done any service for our country because they are the ones that protect our freedoms. So, Travis Yates said, "What's up, guys?
What's up, buddy?
How you doing?" Now, you're gonna have to you're gonna help you're gonna have to help me remember who Travis Yates is. I know it's I know it's one of the brothers, but is it the one that looks like Michael, or is this the one that because in there
Yes,
Travis that
that's the one that looks like Michael. That's yeah,
okay.
that's the one that looks like Michael.
My bad, Travis. Just there's just a lot of you guys. A lot. A lot to keep up with. I
Mm-mm-mm.
remember he said, "Do what?" Um, so going into it, so some of you guys that might come back and listen and everything, you might have listened to our last podcast, Hokum Happy Hour. Hokum Happy Hour is pretty. I wouldn't say it was like successful, but for us, it was very successful. I think if I
Yeah,
remember
for 2
correctly,
guys not knowing what to do.
oh, for sure, and I think if I remember correctly, I think that we got up to dang near 10,000 downloads by the time that we decided to call it quits. Um, which we and I feel like we really didn't want to call it quits. I feel like we just got caught up with life, and at that point we had added another co-host, and just scheduling conflicts, and it just we decided to call it quits then. And then one day last month, I think I called Corey and was like, um, hope everything's going well with you too, Steven. And I think I called you. I think I was at work, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I think it'd be cool to start a podcast again. Call
Yeah.
well, who else to call? Call the technical genius. We're in Edmonton, so
Yeah, I
decided
reckon.
it. Just to be completely 100% clear, and unblur the lines. That had nothing to do with my brain. That was all the brains in Edmonton. That was. I think I was like when I was coming up with names, I was like saying some crap off the wall. I think one of them was like Thoughts Corner or something. I don't know. I was coming up with some wild stuff.
Mm. Yeah.
But so the last podcast, we sat, chilled. I mean, it was a good old time. We talked about news. We talked about life updates. I think there was even an episode that we talked about how we were like when we were like bidding on like pallets in online or something. We were going to E Town and pick it up. Like, didn't we talk about that one episode?
Oh,
Like on
yeah,
like
when we were doing
fast.com
the,
or
when we were doing the auction
oh,
stuff.
yeah. And then
Yeah,
you remember when I bid on something that
and
I
we
didn't
ended up in
realize.
Cincinnati.
Yep, we ended up in Cincinnati instead of E Town.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun, though. We had a good time going up to Cincinnati to get your $27 whatever it was.
I think it was a shoe rack. I don't even think it was like
Yeah.
anything important. I think it was something that I could have easily lived without for sure. Um, Another thing is I mean, we had conspiracy episodes, the
Yeah.
Bardstown murder conspiracies. That is something we can definitely talk about.
Yeah.
Um, if
A
for
lot
those
going
of
on there.
you though for those of you who don't know, there was multiple murders in Bardstown, and not a single one of them was solved. One dating back all the way to 2015 or 2016
2013.
or 2013. Dang, I was already all the way wrong. There was a police officer shot. Then fast forward, a female went missing. Fast forward from that, a mother and daughter was brutally killed in their house. Fast fast forward to that, now there's an unsolved murder, Jamie something, and he was a he was a teenager, and no one knows what happened there either. So Bardstown is a place that I guess basically mind your own business. Like just don't talk to nobody because you don't know who you're talking to. I steer clear, man. Especially with my job, I steer way clear. Stay on that straight line.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
then
no, but we've
what was you saying?
I was like, we've had a we've had a lot. I'll tell you, we learned a lot from running the happy hour. I mean, it was for me, anyways. It was definitely a learning experience, and to be able to, what did I say? What, 2 years, 3 years since we've done it now, to be able to just you call me up and say, "Hey, let's do a podcast," and here we are. We didn't have to do any of the research because we already knew about the needing, the source for the live streaming, because we talked about that's what we wanted to do. We already knew that we had to have bus sprout, the our provider. We had to have one of those, so we already knew what to do. It was just a matter of just putting it all back together, which took no time compared to when we first done it.
Oh, exactly. And it's made this process super easy. Like I mean, like even right now that we got everything working, it's like we never even left. Like it's just like second nature. We're just now. Granted, I'm one of those people, and this for any new listeners. Now, if you listen to Holcomb Happy Hour, you can already know can literally hold a conversation with myself, which is one of the thing. Like, and same vice versa. Corey can do the same thing. We can talk about things for hours, and that's actually how we got the idea to do the podcast in the first place. Like, we were just literally, I think we were sitting in a room at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Was like, you know what? We have been talking this damn long. We should record it,
And share it with the world.
share it with the world.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, it's fun things. So moving forward though, because I don't want to be one of those people that want to piggyback on old projects. Um, Unblur the Lines is completely new. It's completely new us. I mean, a lot has happened in 3 years for sure. I mean, I would even say that, mentally wise, like we are completely different people from that point. A lot of life experiences have happened that changes everything. So, moving forward, like with the last podcast, we tried hard to not go political, because when you talk about the news, it is so easy to get on one side and stay on it.
Yep. And people get offended. It seems like it's worse now, with everything going on. So what better time to start a podcast like this and to start a stream like this than now, when you can look at somebody the wrong way and offend them,
Right. And here's the thing. So with this podcast now, we are going at it with open arms, and we're going at it with like we have our stance
Open
on
minds.
things, and we are not we're not going to go at it with being scared of being political about it. Now, granted, we're all going to be respectful. Um, there might be things said, there might be things showed or shared, that might offend somebody, and that's not our intent at all. But we are going. This is how we want to do it. I mean, we talked for me and Corey talked on the phone for like an hour, just talking about how we want the vibe and how we want it all set up. And I feel like for the way that we have our plan for this podcast, I feel like this will push it farther than Holcomb Happy Hour ever even dreamt of.
Yeah, and not only that, but me and Wesley have very similar views on a lot of things. But as we go and the more topics that we get into with each episode, there's also some things that I disagree with him, or likewise. So it's not going to be always what we're talking about, him and I both agreeing. So we will have our disagreements, just like there will be individuals who have disagreements with us and what we have to say and what we believe. But at the end of the day, we will not think anything any less because everybody has their right to their own opinion, and that's again that's what makes this country so great, is that we have the freedom to speak out about our opinions, and people have the right to get offended, but at the end of the day, we're not going to get offended because somebody disagrees with us. So
You have a comment
yeah, I seen it. I
specified
waved
to
hi at
you.
her. That's right.
I love this streaming platform. I love it
Yeah, this
because
is pretty neat.
like I can just like Travis said. So this is like Hokum Happy Hour 2.0.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
it's funny that he says that because in our conversation, did we not talk about Holcomb Happy Hour 2.0?
Oh,
That's
there's
exactly what we called it.
little Jimmy said, "Let's go."
Let's go.
He all the way from Georgia. We're getting some
Getting
listeners,
the
man.
reach. Yeah. Yeah. So real quick, this episode will be oh yeah. This episode will be posted on all podcasting platforms on Monday. So anybody can go back and listen to it. Definitely make sure that you share with your friends, share it on Facebook. As soon as it drops, we will be sharing it from our personal pages on Facebook as well as from the Unblurred Lines page. So yeah, just help us get the word out there and help us get some people in. We definitely have a big vision for this podcast and this streaming. We want to get people involved and engaged with the conversation. So Facebook seems to be the way for us to do that. So we can just get it shared out there, and then people can comment and message us. And I know in the process of us trying to get all this set up, we ran some polls and stuff like that. That'll be stuff that we do to get insight on different things, and that'll also help us with what people want to hear as far as our opinions on things. Um, what people want us to talk about and share. So yeah, we got some big plans, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Oh, for sure. So I'm gonna move in. So we got some topics that we are willing to talk about. So we're gonna start with the Israel Hamas war, and everything going on with that. Jerry Lee Adams said, "What's up, fellas?
What's
What
up,
up,
Jerry?
buddy?" So when it comes to the Hamas attack on Israel, um, that is some definitely a topic because that has been all over the news. That has been all over every social media, and there's definitely a lot of thoughts that goes with it. A lot of conspiracies have been going around about it. I mean, I've seen everything, and so something that I was going to bring up to you as well, Corey, is it is it has TikTok became the like, and I know this is a little off topic, but has TikTok literally became the most popular app to get any type of news?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So do you think TikTok has passed Facebook up completely?
Absolutely, I do.
That because like I know this probably sounds unprofessional, but like most of all the information I know about the Israel war is all from TikTok. Whether it's news stories, whether it's just random facts, maybe it's even TikToks from that country specific, but I feel like everything I know about the Israel war came from TikTok.
Yeah, for sure.
So um so the Israel war, obviously So this is how it started out. There was there's speculation that there was a warning. Most of the things that I have found, there was no warning of the attack, the first initial attack on Israel. Um, but so Hamas is a Islamic militia group out of Gaza City. Okay. Um, they made several attacks on Israel. They bombed a music festival. They bombed a few other things. Um, this was the most unhumane style of attacks that the world has seen in a very long time. Mainly for the simple fact, like they went straight for civilian populated areas right off the bat. Like there was no mercy in any of it. Um, so with that, it caused a big uproar in every country really. Come to find out, a few days later, Iran is financially supporting them, so that's how they are getting their bombs and their, the equipment they need. Um, the U.S. is obviously backing Israel. As of right now, I mean, we've not put any boots on the ground. All we've done is sent aircrafts, and we are actively in, like, the Navy is actively in the sea monitoring. So as of right now, that's about all we have. Hey, Emily. And so as of right now, that's all we have. So we've also sent countless of dollars to Israel too to help them financially, which I do stand with Israel. I mean, I think that Hamas needs to pay for their actions. Um, but then moving forward, a couple weeks after the attacks, do you remember was it the day of Jahid, or it was on
Jihad, the day of
Jihad,
the day of jihad.
which was a call for protest. Um, um, and if you think moving on forward into the whole conflict, with the U.S. stepping in as much as it already is, Iran made public threats towards the U.S. Um, basically saying that, look, this is us and Israel. Y'all have no dog in this fight, and if y'all keep the dog in the fight, basically they're saying that they're gonna, that we're just as much part of the war, and they're, you know, you know what I mean. So that's been a huge issue in the world right now, um, because here's the thing, like, uh, I mean, we're obligated to stand with Israel because, for one, we are allies. So, what are your thoughts on it as of right now, though?
Um, it'll definitely be something to watch, especially where um the leader of Ukraine on American soil, when he was here, what, last week or the week before, told America that if they did not stand down and step away from Israel, that we would not be spared whenever the war starts. So that's a big problem. I mean, I feel like that's a threat, and if anybody doesn't see it as such, then I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. But yeah, you're right. We will be standing with them um all the whole way. I mean, we're obligated to, absolutely. The Holy Land does have it, I think. So but we'll
Oh,
see.
that,
We'll see what
yeah,
happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
yeah, and I think it has definitely created some uncertain feelings with Americans across the nation. I mean, I mean, It really has, cause like, I feel like there's a bunch of people a lot more on edge right now. Like,
Yeah, no doubt.
when the day of jihad, whenever all that was going out, I mean, I'm telling you, like, there was people legit scared that something was gonna happen, whether it was terroristic, whether it was gonna be riots, whether it was gonna be, you know, protests all over the cities. I mean, people were legit scared, and the I saw a TikTok on on I saw a TikTok the other day, and it was the FBI director and was talking about the whole situation, and he said Americans should be on a pivot, that we should be actively knowing what's going on because you know we don't know what their intentions are. I mean, so did you know when they attacked the music festival? Do you know what parachute gliders are? The little,
Hmm.
it's like a little, the trike thing, and it's got the fan and the parachute on it.
Yeah,
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 that's that's the first time that a parachute glider was used in warfare, because that was the way that they could go into Israel without being detected.
without being detected. Yep.
So, as an American, who's to say they don't do that here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's look back. We had the Chinese balloons and that whole
Oh yeah,
fiasco. You remember that?
yeah. How I
They
mean,
the one of them balloons had been in and over Alaska in the U.S. for what, like 2 weeks before they noticed it was there.
exactly. I mean, it's insane. And I'm not to be a conspiracy theorist, but to be a conspiracy theorist, that Chinese balloon whole that actually that whole unidentified flying object stuff, that was all test. Every bit of it. I believe that it was a Chinese balloon, and I believe that they were testing how good our radars are and how on our toes we were if we were going to.
Yep.
And then I even think they were testing on how we were going to respond. I don't even think they cared. I,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
They were definitely a test to see if we were paying attention.
And not only that, I think they were going to see if we were going to respond. I think they were going to see if we were going to shoot it down as soon as it hit. So, with that being said, so if you think about it, you got one Chinese balloon that was almost over our skies for countless days before anybody even noticed. How many other times has that actually happened and we just never knew?
Right.
Maybe it just clipped the bottom of the US or the top. Now, I wouldn't say northeast, because for the simple fact that's where DC is and that shit is locked down. So, I wouldn't say around DC, but I mean it, but it still is possible. I mean look who our president is. I mean it is still pretty possible.
Yeah. So going back to the attack on Israel, I got a question for you. There was a pretty big debate here a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Um, a bunch of people comparing the amount of money that we have sent to Ukraine or to Israel versus the amount of money that we have sent to Ukraine, and people are actually upset because we have sent so much more to Israel than we have Ukraine. What's your opinion on that?
Well, my opinion is my opinion on it is this. I mean, it simply is this. So Israel is documented our ally. I mean, there has been no question on
Right.
that whatsoever. Ukraine has not done any of the steps. I mean, they've attempted, but Russia has held them back. Now, you're saying, so let me rephrase your question just to make sure that I'm correct, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm on my third glass. So you're asking, so you're saying people are upset because we're sending Ukraine more than Israel, right?
No, backwards. We're sending Israel more money than what we sent to Ukraine, even though the Ukraine debacle um, started before all this Israel stuff.
Dang, I because in my opinion, on when it comes to the Ukrainian war, that one is the one to watch. If you know what I mean, like
Yep.
the Israel war, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Even if we didn't support them and like send them all this extra stuff, Israel's got it. I mean, let's be honest. It's a small terrorist group. I mean, literally, it's literally a Gaza city and a group within a city. You know what I mean? Israel's got it.
Right.
Now, granted, yes, they do have backing from Iran. Hamas does, but Iran is not like physically in it. Iran is just financially backing them.
Right.
So, but in my opinion, the Ukrainian war, that is the one to keep your eyes on, because for the simple fact that is a Russia has more of a chance to defeat Ukraine. I mean, look at the country sizes, look at the military sizes, look at the technology side of things. We cannot we cannot, like, America can't afford for Ukraine to even lose, because we've already sent billions and billions of dollars already. Not to mention, I mean, we've sent tanks, we've sent aircrafts, we've sent guns, ammunition, we've sent all this stuff. Russia wins. Where's all of our shit go?
Well, not only that, but too, if Russia's able to take Ukraine, I don't feel like they're going to stop at Ukraine.
I don't feel
And
like they are either.
the next one for them to invade is Poland. Poland is
Exactly.
part of the UN, which means at that point we would be required, just like with Israel, we would be required to get involved.
Oh, without a doubt. And it's one of them things. So, and it's something that you have to think about too when you're talking about both these wars in general, is who is talking to who. So we know for a fact that Russia and China are obviously on the same page. Now, if they say they do start, like, just because, like, if you notice the last couple of weeks, China has been bucking that chest up to Taiwan.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're thinking about all that, so you got Russia wanting more land, more. I mean, basically conquering. You got China wanting more land because, and for China it makes sense because they're overpopulated, as for one, and they need the more room anyway. So China, it does kind of make sense, but it still doesn't call for war. I mean, come on. But you got Russia and China. So here's the thing. So when you go into it now, eventually, like, won't the two meet if they just keep trying to conquer everybody? And I would not want tickets to that barbecue.
I don't know. That would definitely be an interesting fight to watch.
For sure.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. Like Ukraine, that that conflict over there, that is something to watch. I think, like you said, Israel's got this regardless. I mean, of course they have, not just us backing them, but all the other UN nations are behind them as well. Um, but Russia is a giant bully.
Oh, without a doubt.
and if they were, like I said, if they were to take one, they're not going to stop at Ukraine. They're going to go until they are stopped. So,
Putin is trying to recreate the Soviet Union. That is all he is doing.
mm,
He's trying to get all the land that he had back because in his mind, like Ukraine was taken from him. You know what I mean? That's the way he's thinking, and to me that I feel like that's a poor way of thinking.
yeah.
Like, dude, you're like already like the biggest country like in the world. Like as far as when you're talking, you know, coverage wise of actual
Yeah.
land, like that. Russia is huge,
Mhm.
and you're complaining about this little old Ukraine. You know what I mean? Like, and I ain't gonna lie. So like before the U.S. even stepped in, I was like freaking. My mind was blown how much of a fight they were putting up to.
Oh
Like
yeah.
they, and then when United States started sending them stuff, and you're like, oh crap, like this little old country's got a chance, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
But
it was definitely interesting to watch, but
oh, without a doubt. And it still is, but unfortunately now Ukraine is on a losing trend. But
mhm.
that's where the conspiracies come in because why the timing of Israel, the Hamas attack on Israel?
Right.
Because right around the time that good old Ukraine needs a little more stuff, now we have to go help our actual ally.
Mhm.
So that's where conspiracies are being thrown in. And then, even some are like also saying it's US politics and all this, but and one of the conspiracies that I actually did like but don't see plausible was that the US is one who created the Hamas attack, like is the one who got it going. Basically so that we could go ahead and get over there so that we can make our way to Ukraine anyway. But I like the thought process on that, but um because at the end of the day, like I was saying earlier, we can't afford for Ukraine to win or lose. We
Right.
can't afford it. So how's another way to get it? Get them the boots on the ground help create a world war.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see where that one goes. It'll definitely be one that we will update on and keep an eye on. The same with the stuff going on in Israel. That'll be a pretty regular topic, I think, for a little while. Both
Oh,
of
without a
those.
doubt.
So
Let's let's we'll talk about gun control.
good old gun control. Control your guns.
Perfect time to be talking about it too, especially with all the conflict going on. Um, do you
Well, and not only
think
that, but we've also had some things that's come through the Supreme Court that they've actually overturned, like the arm strap. Did you see that?
I do not?
All right,
What
let
was it?
me let me
What's the gist of it? While you look it up, I'm gonna ask you a question just to think about what
um
just
yeah, hold on just a second. I'm getting it pulled up. You go ahead with what you got. I'm gonna pull this up real quick.
already. I'm gonna ask you a question just to think about. And Jerry said he lost all. I lost all mine in a boating accident. Dang it. And so I'm gonna ask you a question while you get it all pulled up and something to think about. Do you think the way that everything is input now, like think about it, you gotta have a background check, everything. It's gotta be registered. Do you think what America has in place now is already enough gun control.
Yes, I do. I mean, there's no thinking about that. What else could they add to make it any more secure than what it already is? Like I feel like some of it's even unnecessary. But if somebody wants a gun, they're gonna get it one of two ways, either legally or illegally. And at least the people that are buying them, I too, I think the process that you go through when purchasing a firearm with the background check and all that, I do think that that helps with the younger individuals who are trying, because if you think about it, a lot of younger individuals aren't they're not going to know who to go to or where to go to get a gun illegally more times than not. So, and it just it helps with preventing them, an 18-year-old or something walking in. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to answer your question. I don't think there's anything else to add to it that could help it, any, or whatever.
Travis said, "It's so easy to get an unmarked gun in this country."
Oh,
Jerry had said,
absolutely.
"Is it a gun control issue or a mental health issue?" Now I'm gonna go with the mental health issue because when it comes to gun control, I mean, they already do everything to track what your past is. They do the background check. I mean, your background check, they pull driving records, they pull criminal records. I mean, they pull everything. So mental health is like when you think. I mean, this has been all over news here lately because the Parkland shooter just got his final sentencing, but that was a mental issue. That was not a gun control issue. Like the old saying, guns don't people don't kill or guns don't kill people, people kill people. I almost said
Right.
it backwards. But Lil Jimmy said gun control only hurts good guys with guns. Felons don't give a shit about gun control. Um
Yeah, so I agree with that 100%. I have always said that so criminals don't follow the law. That's what makes them criminals. So what makes somebody think if they do things that they feel is going to add more security to gun control or to purchasing weapons, whatever, what makes that person think that the criminal is all of a sudden going to start following that? I mean,
right, for
again, that's
sure.
what makes them a criminal is they don't follow the law to begin with. So,
This is something that I wish I would have thought about earlier. This is not something that we have to, I guess, pull up now. But the statistic that I would like to see is like, so think about Chicago, Illinois. Okay, guns like you can't have a gun without a
mhm,
permit. Period. And there's so many rules and
right.
regulations that it almost benefits more not to not even have one in Chicago. Um, I would like to know how many murders have been solved. Riley, pull up. I'm just I would like to know how many murders. I would like to know how many murders were solved just because the gun was registered to somebody. I would like to know that statistic
That'd
because
be
I feel like that'd be a statistic to base a good opinion on.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
what was you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say that definitely would be a good one to look up, and
Oh, for sure.
I think
And
uh, I think we know what the answer is, but yeah, it would be a good solid statistic to look at.
right, and I feel like the way that we're going now, you know, So here's the thing too. So if you think about the Constitution, and this is something so out there, but I'm just gonna say it. All right. Um, the Constitution. So like the people have the right to stand up against our government, right? So I'm just gonna tell you right now, in today's world, if we ever had to stand up against our government, you think they're gonna come knocking on our doors with like teddy bears? You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jerry. So Chicago's is still has the most gun regulations in the country. Out of any city in the United States, Chicago has more laws pertaining to gun control than any other city in the United States.
Oh, without a doubt. Baltimore's pretty high up there too. Um,
Hmm.
but and it's insane. Like, so I feel like the way that the gun control has already hit, I feel like that is not. I feel like it's already hit a point to where it was not what the founding fathers envisioned. Now, granted, then you got people who go out there and say, well, different time period, way different world. Yes and no. Everybody's still bickering back and forth. I mean, so how much have we really changed? All we've added is technology.
Right.
So nothing's really changed. I mean, you still got I mean, look at Russia. Literally just taking over something that they believe is theirs. All
Trying
right.
to.
Exactly. Trying to. All right. Go back to the American Revolutionary War. Britain was trying to claim us, claim like, well, they had already claimed our land. We were claiming it. But either way, they were fighting because they believed it was theirs.
Hmm.
So nothing is really changed from those times. All we've added is just technology.
Technology. Yeah.
And always and with technology, we have added so if you think about 1960s, we'll just do a random decade. 1960s. I guarantee you people were still getting killed left and right by guns. But now the difference is now there's social media to cover it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is the attention that it gets. Law for all the Swedish people to own a firearm and to have the lowest gun crime in the world. I had not heard that, Jerry. So just I keep forgetting that we're going to be streaming this podcast, so it's going to be all audio. I've got to remember remember that. So it says, "Have you all heard that it is a law for all Swedish people to own a firearm and to have the lowest gun crime, and they have the lowest gun crime in the world." Yeah, so like I said, I didn't know that, but I'll definitely look that one up and revert back to it. I believe it. It seems like anytime something happens, like so, let's talk about COVID. Sweden was in the news a lot with COVID because they were all about the what is it, the
Herd
herd
immunity.
immunity or whatever it was.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so they seem to have it. They seem to have it figured out over there. Maybe we just need to pack up and move to Sweden.
Let's roll. Nah, dude, and it's all freaking so it's also proven too, like when you think about Chicago and you think about Baltimore, hell, if you even think about Louisville, like because there's rules
Hmm.
even in as small as a city as Louisville, like in Louisville, like I know for a fact. So in Louisville, like you're not allowed to go in most buildings with a firearm. And but like so when you think about all that and think about those cities compared to like well, I can't even use Barstown because everybody gets fucking killed and nobody can figure out who killed them. But you think about cities compared to like E Town or like Bowling Green. Like, yes, shit still happens there, Don't get me wrong, but less stuff happens because we're not taking the guns away from everybody and saying don't defend yourself. So when you have more, if there's more, it's more of a deterrence. If you have more deterrence out there, less people's going to try shit.
Right.
Perfect.
And a big deterrence is law-abiding, good Americans carrying firearms.
Right. And I feel like that the whole gun thing, I feel like we're all overthinking it, both sides. I think we just need to go back to the basics and like, okay, I think guns should be registered. I don't disagree with that at all because, and I'm probably gonna catch some slack over that, but I think guns should be registered. But I don't think they should be registered with us having the fear of one day our government knocking on our doors to take them either. So, and the only reason why I think they should be registered is if you do something stupid with that gun, I think you know what I mean. Like, and that's just why I personally feel. If you do something stupid with it,
So, just real quick. So, just real quick. So, your logic is when you go out and you buy a silver fork from Walmart, it should be registered
no,
because if somebody goes out and does something stupid with that fork and stabs somebody, they need to be held accountable with that fork.
damn, am I the one playing devil's advocate right now, or is that you?
No, that's me. You're the one that said you feel like it should be registered because if they break the law with it, so every Louisville Slugger baseball bat needs to be registered.
Sure. I mean, I think they're all. I think they all have serial numbers anyway. I mean, fuck it. Let register everything. Laptops, phones. Uh,
Those are already registered, Wesley.
no, I guess in
Right, Jimmy. We need more sport control. Absolutely.
I guess what I'm trying to say is going off what's already in play. Okay. Um, I just the way it already is. Oh my god. um, the way I look at it is it's been like that for years already. So that's all I ever know. That's all I ever known,
Noon.
noon, noon. That's all I've ever known, and I think that that's the like. So for me, that is the correct way to do it, and that's the problem. Is like like a lot of your right side Republicans, they'll do it the right way because that's what it says. That's what the textbook says. That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Let's not. But like what I'm saying is at the same time. So what I agree with is doing it the right way, doing it the legal way, but also not. I don't want to. So I don't want to go buy a 300 blackout, right? And come home and be like a freaking crackhead, like being all paranoid, thinking the government. Like I don't feel like I should ever feel like that because, like, as an American, I did the correct steps, right? I bought the gun legally. It's registered. Whatever. Like that's the part that I don't agree with is that we constantly have more and more government officials saying we're gonna ban them, which 300 blackout is a AR. That's an assault rifle, and that's what they're trying to ban. They're actively getting closer to banning assault rifles.
They're
You know what I
trying.
mean? Yeah. And my thing is For one, we do have the right to bear arms. We do have the right to own firearms, and we should. And I think this is going to cause some stuff. You ready for this one?
All right.
I think our country is scared of our country because there's so many guns and regulation. It's the ultimate way to get their control back if they tried to take our guns.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you think about it, most of these countries out here are forever. If you because if you think about it, most of the countries out there, it's like so think about Russia, right? They can take control. Like the government has full control, mainly because the citizens have no access to fight back.
Right.
Think about China. They can take full control all the time because the citizens have no access to fight back.
Yeah, and
That's
I think ultimately, I think that's what it boils down to. The people that are elected in these offices, they, the government, the US government, they use things like school shootings, and they use things um like drive-by shootings and that type of thing to scare the public to get them to follow along with the registration of vehicles and the process, I mean, of vehicles, of guns. And
later
the
on we're gonna go to the DMV. So
but the um the processes that you have to go through to get a gun, and it's it's a scare tactic to be able to control the flow of guns, because like you said, the more control they have over the selling and the use of guns in the US, the less likely it is for an uprise against the government.
right, and doing the right thing and buying a gun the right way, it's really not that long of a process. I literally had my so one of my guns. I've got 3 guns total. One of my guns that I bought, I literally had in hand walking out of the store within like 30 minutes. I mean, it's really not that long of a process. And the thing is to if everybody's doing it the correct way, what is the issue? Technically, we're following everything that back in the day liberals and the right side all agreed on because
Right.
before that even came a law, everybody had to vote on it.
Well, and two, it goes back. So, talking about the school shootings and drive-bys, it goes back to, so yeah, the school shootings I think is definitely a mental health. I think you when you get into situations like neighborhood shootings, drive-by shootings, that's very much like a territorial gang type stuff. Um, but in either situation, more times than not, like when it comes to the schools, the kid did not go out and buy the gun from a retail store or from a retailer. They got it from their parents' lockup or out of their parents' bedroom or something of that nature. So if that's the case, if they pass a law that says you have to give, 8 ounces of your blood so we can confirm it's you to buy a gun, that's going to have no bearing on that child going into their parents' bedroom and getting the gun that their parents already have. And as far as the gang related type stuff, a lot of that is criminal activity anyways. And again, they don't.
I'm itching to say something.
Okay, go ahead.
Maybe it's a parenting issue.
I definitely, I think it's a learning issue. I think if you're gonna have if you're going to have weapons in your house, your kids should know about them. It shouldn't be a scary topic for kids. They should
Oh,
be they
without
should
a doubt.
grow up with them, know what they are, know that they can hurt somebody, you know.
I think gun safety in general, and of course, I feel like this is so very Kentuckian for me to say, or Southern Kentucky for me to say is I feel like every child should go through some sort of gun safety, like through in their life, in their
Sure.
childhood life. Mainly for the simple
Well,
fact
that's
they need to understand the importance of why we even have guns, the importance of you know everything. Now, a lot of people from like Metcalf County or hell even all the way up here in Nelson County, a lot of your kids, the hunting is very popular, so a lot of kids already go through that. But if you notice that most of the school shootings and these big elaborate gun shit that's going on is all in our big cities. So we what America has to do to fix that is how are we going to fix that? And it's going to start with parenting. It's going to start with the school systems itself. I mean, we and I feel like some of it too is and it is a huge mental health issue. But like the Parkland shooter, in Florida, I mean, I feel like he only like based on everything that I've read, interviews that I've seen, I mean, I feel like he did it literally just to be famous. Like we need to stop making them mortars. You know what I mean? Like
sure.
it's insane because I mean, think about like serial killers. Like most of them do it because they know it's going to get national coverage. Makes them famous.
Yeah. Well, and two, it goes back to what we were talking about with the social media and everything. It's everything is put out there for the public to see anymore, and it's very easy for somebody to have that in their head that they want to do this to be famous or to be known or to get the attention, and they're going to get it. I mean, it goes back to again the social media and the way that the news outlets operate these days.
Oh, without a doubt. And with that, a lot of we recently went through a election. Kentucky did not go the way I wanted it to go. Because I was going for Daniel Cameron, but Daniel Cameron did not come through. This was a weird election year for like, and I don't know if it was just me, but like, I don't feel like any campaigning was actually done. Like, I barely saw anything about Andy Bashir's campaign. I barely saw anything about Daniel Cameron's campaign. Before the primaries, I barely saw because before Daniel Cameron got the Republican nomination, I was like gun ho, let's go Eric Dieters. You know what I mean? And then once the nominees were selected, I feel like all campaigning just stopped. Like and that was a little odd to me because there's usually a crap ton of commercials, a crap ton of posts on Facebook, but like on Facebook and stuff. But like I didn't even see much on TikTok either. And
No.
TikTok, like we were saying, TikTok's past Facebook as far as information passing goes.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing that surprised me was how many people were so dissatisfied with how Andy Bashir handled the pandemic. It was like there were so many people between social media and just hearing people talk, and they were just so upset about how he handled it, I was fully expecting that to be his end. And but so it did surprise me that he pulled through, um, even after the so much dislike that he got from how he handled the COVID pandemic.
Oh, without a doubt. And I mean, the demographics alone for the like you know how like it shows what you can see on your screen right now. It shows you each county and everything. Like Nelson County is blue. That is wild to me. I mean, this is the same county when you're driving down 245 and you pass like 10 or 12 Trump flags in a row right next to Thomas Nelson High School. Yeah, so Nelson County being blue is insane to me. And then you got, well, of course, we always expect the bigger cities. So like Fayette County has Lexington. Um, um, Jefferson County obviously has Louisville. Warren County always obviously has Bowling Green. Could there be an unfair or dishonest elections? Absolutely.
I mean, we seen it with the Trump Biden election. So
Oh,
so
without
why
a
not
doubt.
why not bring it home, bring it local?
Right. I'm just gonna tell you right now. 2020. I literally almost and I Corey can vouch. I literally almost had an aneurysm. Like election day, I literally went to bed was like, oh, Trump got it. Next morning, oh, what? I literally so that day I took off work and everything because like when it comes to presidential elections, like I'm all in it. I am all in, brother. And I literally was on the couch from morning until the next morning all day. And literally all day I was just watching wins for Trump for states just all day. And then literally wake up seeing states convert to blue and somehow Biden won. It was literally insane. And I'm gonna tell you, when I woke up and it said, well, first when I first woke up at 7 a.m., the fact that the election still hadn't been called yet was insane. And it literally came down to Arizona and wasn't it like Nevada?
Yeah, I don't remember.
And Arizona is historically a very red state, and it flipped. Nevada flipped. Those like I'm just gonna tell you, I there's definitely some weird stuff. I'm not saying that I agree with the people who stormed the Capitol and broke in and all that, but I do agree with people questioning the logistics of the election, though.
Yeah.
Travis says it don't matter about our votes anymore. It's all about who the government wants in there so they can puppet control them. Well, they got the perfect candidate for it. So
I disagree with that comment. I don't think he's the perfect candidate because you can't understand what he's saying 90% of the time.
even better. Jimmy said their excuse was that most of the votes through the night were mail-in ballots and they had to be counted. So yes, and mail-in ballots to me is no bueno. I think that for one, there's no way to verify because I don't know about you, but I've went to vote before, and every time that I've had to vote, I've had to show my license.
Mhm.
So how are our mail-in ballots even like legit? Um, Jimmy said I called bullshit from the beginning. Absolutely, I did too. So But like it just and then now, so think about this. So do you know that Trump actually launched an investigation on it, and the number of people who voted that were dead.
Yeah, I was going to say that there were a lot of people
Ex-
sending in ballots for people who had been deceased.
Jerry said, "I wonder how many mail-in ballots are from nursing homes from incoherent people." I guarantee you that number is going to be high if there was a statistic. But the sad thing is, we'll probably never see it.
Right.
And then there was even videos that surfaced of people putting like 20 votes in the the drop off voting where they could just put it in the thing and go back home. There was videos that Trump's legal team released of people putting stacks of votes like freaking huge just in it and then walking away wearing mask and obviously wearing mask. Can't tell who they are. That was something. I'm just going to tell you. So in my career field, that was the mask era. That's what I'm going to call it. The mask era freaking sucked. And Corey knows it firsthand as well.
Yeah.
The mask era, dude. Because so what I do is I I catch shoplifters for a living, and when you catch shoplifters, if you can't see their face, you're probably not gonna figure out who they are. It's just unless you've had multiple encounters with them already, and yeah. But back on the whole election debacle, I mean, it was literally insane. I mean, every bit of it. Jimmy said, just like now, there are thousands of people crossing the border daily and being shipped to the United States to be planted. They're being given IDs and money to rent housing and live.
Hmm.
Now I'm going to tell you the thousands of people crossing the border. Corey shared this to me not too long ago. A lot of them are military aged men, and they're not even from Mexico.
Yep. Well, that's when we were talking about that was so what you're talking about, what I sent you, that was when the whole the day of jihad or whatever it was called, that's when that was going on. And me and you were talking about the possibility of there being like silent or the secret sales and stuff being brought in, and all these people that they were catching coming into the country illegally were military aged men. It was not children, women. It was only not like 98% of them m- were military aged guys. So,
Yeah, and one of them was Middle Eastern and even had an AK-47 tatted
hmm
on his and it's insane. Like so it does concern me still though. Like even though like a lot of that has dropped down and put in the back burner as far as news media goes, that's still concerning because they're still here.
oh, absolutely.
And the problem with our border is I mean, at this point, we could have already we could already let in like a whole army, like, and we wouldn't even know.
Hmm.
And they're overtaking our cities. Also,
Yep.
seen they are given cell phones and uniforms. Well, I'm just gonna tell you, little Jimmy. I was talking about this the other day. We live in a world now where it pays to be an immigrant more than being a native of your own country. Think
Hmm.
about me and Corey was talking about our a local liquor store the other day. Um, literally, like it changes owners every so often, and that's just so that they can stay tax free.
Yep.
And that is insane. And they get these. You got Americans out here that want to like that want to start a business or want to do this but can't get, the necessary startup loans. And then you got people coming in day one already got entrepreneurship loans and all these, immigrant loans and refugee loans and all this so that they can, make the American dream. But like the American dream um does not go with the American people anymore.
Nope, not at all.
We are here to pay the immigrants' way.
Yeah, Jimmy, I said that too. So Jimmy said something's going down soon. He does believe. They were talking about this last weekend. Yeah, I've me just between conversations that Wesley and I've had. It's I believe something's coming. Something's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. So
Well,
we will
and
we will be here to report on it for sure.
something too that I have thought about is if we end up in another war, I think there will be a draft. I don't think that we have enough enlistment anymore at all. Because if you think about it, the people who are hitting that age are Gen Z, and that is, you know, Jerry says people fear these guys coming in like they can take over. I don't think they intend to take over. They just want to start enough trouble so we implode on ourselves. And but that's correct too, because chaos history has proven in America that chaos does not do well with us at all. COVID, the not only that, when the George Floyd thing happened and all these cities started rioting, everything, America does not do good with chaos, but it's because America also does not prepare us as citizens to deal with chaos either. All they ever do is just sell that we're this perfect ideal country and that nothing could ever happen. Little Jimmy says the question is the military going to follow orders from the government to go against the people, or are they going to stand with the people and fight for us? So I will tell you. So me and my best one of my best friends, Chris, um, me and him's talked about that, and so the wordage in their swearing, because he's in basic right now. And I think there's a reason why when they swear in, they protect foreign and domestic. So I think that is their way. Now I'm not saying that the military would, but I would like to think that you know if they see something that's wrong, that they're going to stand up and be like, all right, look, like this has gone too far. You know what I mean? We would all like to think that would definitely make us all sleep better, but I think that verbiage alone, I feel like gives the opportunity for them to stand up with us.
Yeah, for sure.
But um so I feel like we definitely covered a lot today. Um
Yeah.
it definitely went longer than I was expecting it. Not even gonna lie. Um I'm so glad that we got the software figured out. I'm glad that we got um we basically just went through this all with no other technical difficulties. Like I said from the beginning, this is take two. We did try before, and we already deleted the original one because
Well,
you know,
if you think about it, it's actually like take like 20 or 30 because that was the whole reason why we pushed it out to this Monday versus this past Monday was because we were trying to get all this figured out. So,
right. And please, I really do like this streaming. Like we were just talking before this, like if we weren't like we didn't know if we were going to get you know engagement during the show or whatever. And I like the streaming. I think this is something that me and Corey can both agree on that we'll keep doing. I
Mm.
think it's going to bring a lot more viewers, and it does save too, so people can go back and watch. So that is freaking awesome. So, but all good things come to an end, and this is episode one, and this is definitely a good thing, but it's going to come to an end. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please send us feedback because feedback does everything. Like that, I mean, it literally is everything to us because we know we from feedback we know if we're doing it right, we know if we're doing it wrong, we know if we need to tweak, whatever.
Yep. Also, make
So
sure to share it on Facebook. Share the page. Anytime that we go live and we do our stream, um, it will be shared on our page on Facebook. So definitely make sure to share that anytime you see it. We will be sharing it and just to get it out there. We want to get more people in here, get more opinions flowing, and yeah, be definitely engaged with everybody. So
right, and with it being Veterans Day, I'm gonna thank all veterans for their service. Happy Veterans Day. Um, that was this was a good episode. So we do should we do like the original outro?
well, I you have to remind me.
The
That was 3 years ago, dude.
You say that's where you went.
Oh, where
So I'm
I'm Corey and
and
I'm
I'm
Wesley.
Wesley.
The only difference is it's no longer the happy hour. It's now unblur the
Unblur
lines.
the lines. So one thing else I'm gonna say real quick. We're gonna get a for sure intro and a for sure outro soon. We just gotta figure out how we're gonna do it, how how we're gonna do it, and how we want it to sound. We haven't really um thought about it yet. I think we're gonna just use the like stuff that's already offered to us through the software that we're streaming on. Um, for right now, but we're going to get a good intro and outro to put together, and I think it's going to be beast. I think everybody will enjoy it.
Yep,
So
I think so.
I'm Wesley.
And then I'm Corey.
Thank y'all for listening, and please, please, please like, follow, and share our Facebook page. Um, I think this time too. I think that's all we're gonna do. I think we're only gonna do Facebook because that was the most successful last time. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So um, feedback, share, like, listen to our podcast on Monday. It hits all streaming apps. We got everything all set up there, and I think we're gonna have a really good time doing this podcast. I think it's gonna be fun.
Yep, I agree
So,
with you, bud.
with that being said, everybody have a good night. Thank you for listening. Be good or be good at it. See y'all.